Hello, sixth grade. Welcome to today's science lesson. This comes out of the Google Classroom assignment called page 85 through 87, numbers 1 through 3. We're continuing with cells and organisms. Specifically today, we're going to be looking at cells and what they group up to become. Okay, so let's just talk about cells first of all. Cells are a tiny unit of living material surrounded by a thin membrane or covering. It does nearly all of the things that living organisms do. If you remember from our lesson yesterday, it grows, it reproduces, it responds to the environment, it uses energy, and it produces and gets rid of waste, just like all living things do. And eventually it dies. Just want to point out something here. This, of course, is the cell, and then inside of this key, it lists all of the organelles. So as you recall from your project, organelles are the little parts of a cell that help it do all of its jobs that it needs to accomplish. You are a multi-celled organism. You are made up of many, many, many cells, billions of cells actually. There are some creatures that are only made out of one cell, and you need a microscope to see those things. However, humans and other animals are made up of many, many, many cells. Your body is designed to perform a certain function, and your cells help each of the organs in your body to perform that function. Let's talk about what cells do in us. So if you take a group of cells, so think of your model that you made, if you put many of those together, you are making something called tissue. So if you put a bunch of brain cells together, you create brain tissue. If you put a bunch of skin cells together, you have skin tissue. If you put bone cells together, you make bone tissue. So a group of cells working together is called tissue. Now, if you take a bunch of tissues and put those together, you make an actual organ. So if I take a lot of skin tissue and I put those together, I make this organ called my skin. If I take a lot of brain cells and I put them together to make brain tissue, and I put a bunch of brain tissues together, now I've made an organ called the brain. So many tissues working together make something we call organs. Now, if I take a lot of organs and put them together, for example, if I took my heart and my lungs and I put those together with a few other things, I make something called the circulatory system. The circulatory system is how blood gets all throughout my body. And you can watch this video that I'll post and it'll give you more information about the circulatory system, but there's many systems. They're just organs that are working together. For example, the respiratory system. All of the parts of your body that help you breathe are part of your respiratory system. So, just to recap before I get to this last one, we start with cells. You put a bunch of cells together, you make tissue. You put a bunch of tissue together, you make an organ. You put organs together, you make systems. And if you put systems together, if I put my circulatory system and my respiratory system together, I make an organism. An organism is a complete living thing. It's all of the organs working together. my muscular system, my skeletal system, my respiratory system, my circulatory system. I put it all together and I've made an organism. I've made a living thing, like a mushroom or a turtle. So, at this time, it's your turn. Please go and look over page 85 to 87, and then when you're done looking that over, please go to Google Classroom and find the form called page 87, numbers 1 through 3. And you can look back at this video if you need more assistance or drop me an email. Thank you.